series of distributed DBMS. In this video, I will explain query processing in centralized system. I am Rishan Sikh, Assistant Professor in IT Department of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. So when we are talking about query processing, then we have to take care about the basically execution of query with the help of query processor. So in this video, I will explain the basic of query processor and query processing in centralized system. So when we are talking about the query processing, when the user is executing the query, exactly how it processed in the background. So with the help of query processor, it is executed. So when user is typing its query, it must be in some specific format that is a high level query that knows by the user. But exactly the query processor is executing how it query, that is all about the basic idea of this query processing system. Query processing is getting this high level query and converting into the lower level data manipulation commands. That lower level data manipulation commands is all about algebraic query. So how exactly algebraic query is converted, that will be the aim of this particular video. So let's start with the query processing in centralized system. So when we are talking about centralized system, that means here our server is specific at one place. User is requesting for that query and that query is executed at that machine. We are not concentrated here distributed scenario. So when we are talking about centralized one, query process at the particular location only. So when we are talking about cost effectiveness in centralized one, then we have to take care about the only processing time here. No other factor will be occurred here. So in the centralized system, if query is processed, so CPU cost, IO cost and buffer cost will be matter here. So how CPU cost will be affected? How quickly CPU's response, how the operators are copied into the particular disk space, how the buffer space is executed, if cache memory is used or not, that all the factors will be affect the total query processing time. So now we will understand whole scenario using this particular goals of query processing in centralized one. So when we are talking about the goals of query processing in centralized one, then basically we have to concentrate on these four types. Minimize the response time. As soon as possible, query can be processed. Maximize the parallelism in system. At a time, more than one query can be executed. Maximize the system throughput. Query is processed with the highest reliability and minimize the total time which will be occurred here. So basically on these four goals, query processing in centralized system is working. So let's see the figure how exactly query is processed using this architecture. Our particular query is in the format of SQL. That query is parsed. Parsing and translation, our query processor will check the particular syntax. If syntax is wrong, then query is rejected from here. But if syntax is correct, then it's convert the particular SQL query into the relational algebraic query. After the relational algebraic query, particular query processor is applying query optimization methods. Query optimization methods include cost estimation, plan generation and code generation. In cost estimation, relational algebraic query is calculated with the help of different relational algebraic operations. Then we are planning to here calculate number of alternatives and that alternatives calculated for the cost. If alternative 1 is having X cost, alternative 2 having Y cost, so which will be beneficial. According to that, cost will be calculated. After the cost estimation, we are getting some output that is appropriate for the execute that query, and that output will decide for our plan generation step. Plan generation will exactly decide how that particular alternative is executed, and for that code will be generated with the help of execution manager. So this is the basic idea and steps for query processing in centralized one. Now let's understand whole steps one by one. Now step number 1 is parsing and translation. So as earlier said, in this step number 1, our input is calculus query. This query is checked by query processor for syntax and correctness, and it will generate the equivalent relational algebraic query. In step number 2, we are talking about the query optimization. So for this step, our input is our particular relational algebraic query. In cost estimation, in query optimization, three parts will be executed: cost estimation, plan generation, and code generation. And we are getting the particular plan generation in the output. Now understand whole three steps: cost estimation, plan generation, and code generation one by one. So for particular cost estimation, we are considering these 4 or 5 tables for the different purpose: customer, branch, account, loan, and transaction. The particular attributes are available: customer ID, customer name, street, and customer city. For branch, branch name, branch asset, and branch city. Okay, and other attribute will be used for further example. Now we are moving to the first step, relational algebra. So before calculating cost, we have to understand some basic relational algebraic operation which will be used in example. So when we are understanding SL keyword, so SL keyword is used here in relational algebra for a selection operator. When we are reading PJ here, then it will be considered as a projection operator. When we are reading here JN stands for our join operator. The same way NJN stands for natural join operator, and UN stands for our unary operator. Okay. Next, three symbols will be used in the example: sigma for selection, pi for projection, and here BAWIT for our cross product or join operation. This particular symbol and syntax will be used in next example. Okay, so you must take care about all these shortcuts here. Now we are moving to the particular query optimization, cost estimation, step number 1. Suppose we want to retrieve the name of all the customers who have one or more accounts in our branch city of Edina. So for that we can write the syntax like this. So this syntax is our SQL query: select customer name from our customer, branch and account, where c.cid is equal to a.cid and a.branch name is equal to b.branch name and b.bct is equal to Edina. Here ABC is our alias for particular class. So this query will be written by the user, that is our high level query. The same query we are generated using step number 1, that is our algebraic query. So here PJ CNAME, that means our projection, in bracket SL BCT selection operation is equal to Edina, customer CP, account CP, branch. So here all this data is written, equivalent data is written into the algebraic query. So our query processor is understanding this type of query and estimated the cost for this query. Now we are moving to the query optimization, step number 2. So how exactly our query processor is done? Because query processor optimize our component according to this particular step number 2. So our query optimization is relevantly we can write more than one time. So the same query can be written like this, that is our alternative one. We can write this. So how can we choose this one? So when we are talking about the number of alternatives, then we have to take care about which type of operation done in our particular algebraic query. So if we are talking about number of operation, then highest consumable cost will be done by our Cartesian product. If we are using Cartesian product during the execution, then it will take more time and it will take more cost. So we are trying to remove this type of particular alternative. So our query processor is take some fragment statistics from its past experience and choose that type of particular query that having minimum type of Cartesian products. So according to this our example, we are choosing second one. So for cost estimation, we have to choose this type of alternatives that use the number of relational algebra. So these alternatives is generated by associative, commutative, idempotent, distributive, and factorization property. Because query processor has to decide number of alternatives. So which alternative is better, for that query processor has to perform some task. So how exactly number of alternatives are generated? Using relational algebraic operators. So these operators may be used associative property, commutative property, idempotent property, distributive or factorization, or the like these other properties. So let's understand some of the properties from this. For example, if I want to use unary operator, so unary operator is commutative. This is first our example here. So how can we use unary operator alternative? So unary operator 1 in bracket unary operator on applying our relation. So when we are talking about commutative, then we can write our first table also inside the particular data. Okay, so this is can be our unary operator is commutative. So for example, our select branch name is equal to main. Select asset is greater than 12 lakhs from the particular branch. So similarly, if I am using the unary operator, so I can write this query like this: select asset is greater than 12 lakhs, and in the bracket select branch is equal to main from the relation branch. So both the here particular both the queries are equivalent. So according to the cost estimation, we are choosing which one having the minimum cost. Okay, the same way we can execute here unary operator as an idempotent. So from the one relation I can bifurcate two relation. Okay, so unary operator R is equal to unary operator 1 in bracket unary operator 2 to the particular relation. So for the same we are taking this example. Okay, where the branch name is main and asset is 12 lakh for the branch table. So I can write this statement in a single query like this: select branch name is equal to main, in the bracket select asset where asset is greater than 12 lakhs from the particular branch. Like this we can write binary operator is associative. For the binary operator associative, syntax is given. The same way I can choose binary operator is commutative except for set difference. For that particular definition is given. The same way I can use unary operator is distributive. Unary operator can be factorized. So number of alternatives are used because that's a long list of particular relational algebraic operation. So we are just discussing what the particular scenario is used here. Now we are moving to the how exactly cost is calculated. So for the calculating the cost, we have to choose number of alternatives. So for the given example, query processor is finding here total 8 alternatives. So first step for query processor is for given query converting relational algebraic query, and for this given relational algebraic query calculate number of alternatives. How exactly this query will be executed? So there are total 8 ways to execute that relational algebraic query. So from this given 8, which one will be useful or optimized way, that will be a calculation of our cost estimation. So for that we are drawing one particular space, that is a solution space. So solution space is our graphical tree structure representation of these particular alternatives. Okay, so let's see that particular thing. So in query optimizer analyze, all these trees are in the solution space and select the tree which is a optimal one. In this particular figure we can see the total number of alternatives are 8. So if query processor is executing all these alternatives, calculating the tree, so it will take more time. So first thing is done by query processor is removing some bad alternatives. This process is known as a pruning and pruning of tree. So in the pruning of tree, what happens? Some bad alternatives are removed first before creating the tree structure. That takes less time to execute the total space for executing the query. So after the pruning, it will create the number of alternatives. So how the cost is calculated? For that particular scenario is given. Suppose in our bank total 500 customers are there. On an average, each customer has 2 accounts, and there are 100 branches for this bank, and there are 10 branches in the Adena city, and 10% of customers have account in the branches of Adena. So according to these statistics, cost will be calculated, because in the first time when the request is coming, the query processor has to decide some statistics, and according to the data, next query will be fetched and query processor will be generated fast output. So for that some statistic must be there. So we are taking these statistics, and according to that particular statistics, number of trees are generated according to the alternative. So according to this figure, there are 5 alternative trees are given. So from the 8, we are removing 3 alternatives according to the pruning concept, and we are getting 5 concept which will be a cost effective. So according to these particular 5 alternatives, we are generated here different trees. These trees generated according to our alternative. Okay, according to the join operation and projection operation, our trees generated here. That is known as a alternative variety. From this particular alternative variety, we are getting the cost. So for this particular alternative 2 and 5, I am calculating the particular cost. So cost will be calculated like this. Our query will customer and natural join with account with relation R1. For that, cost will be calculated here. The same way, our data will be calculated the whole situation and generate the total cost for alternative 1. That is 510 is the cost, and total affected tuple is 100. For alternative 5, we are calculating the cost for this given alternative. I am getting the total cost is 60 and total affected column is 100. So in cost analysis, we are generated cost for each and every alternatives which is available in tree structure, and from that we are taking the minimum one which will be a optimal solution for query execution. That will be a input for our step number 2 plan generation. So in step number 2, we are getting the optimized query, which will be the output of step number 1 after the cost estimation, and it will generate the executable code, which will be a plan for the particular execution of our query processor. So this is all about the basic how the centralized query processor is executed. In centralized one, we are taking the input, that is parse. After the parsing, the query processor is calculating the cost step by step, which I already explained. And for the step number 2, we are getting the optimized query. That optimized query will be executed exactly according to the given structure. So this is the basic idea about the centralized one. Thank you for watching this video.